Does the press tell the truth? Forget the press, meet the truth. Seek truth, ask questions. Forget the press, meet the truth. Watch Meet the Truth every Sunday morning, 8 to 9 a.m. Discover the truth the press does not want you to know about. Money is debt, gold is your bet. Forget the press, meet the truth. Watch Meet the Truth every Sunday morning, 8 to 9 a.m.
On February 26, 1993, at 12:19 p.m., a truck bomb detonated in the underground parking garage of Tower 1 of the World Trade Center complex. The bomb was a urea nitrate device enhanced with hydrogen gas. The bomb ripped a 30-meter wide hole through 4 sublevels of concrete. 6 people were killed and 1,042 injured as smoke poured into the towers. Investigators found the axle of the Ryder truck that was used in the bombing and were able to trace the vehicle identification number to the man who rented the truck, Emad Salem. Eventually, blame for the bombing came to rest with Ramzi Youssef, whose uncle, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, or KSM, confessed to masterminding the 9/11 attacks from A to Z in a highly dubious, heavily redacted confession extracted after 4 years of torture in a secret CIA prison and after having his sons abducted and used as bargaining chips in the interrogation process. Media fascination with the case was quick to focus on Ramzi Youssef. But during the investigation, some startling information came to light.
Last winter, the FBI was praised for its speed in cracking the case of the World Trade Center bombing and bringing 4 suspects to trial. Now, there is some evidence that the FBI may have known of the plot in advance through an informant and might even have stopped the bombing that killed 6 people. Correspondent Jacqueline Adams has the story.
FBI agents might have been able to prevent last February's deadly explosion at New York's World Trade Center. They discussed secretly substituting harmless powder for the explosives, but they didn't, according to the FBI's own informant, Emad Salem. Unbeknownst to the FBI at the time, Salem recorded many of his conversations with his handlers.
I'm holding 903 pages of draft transcripts.
William Kunstler represents Sheikh Omar Abdel Rahman and several others charged with conspiring to blow up a series of New York City landmarks 4 months after the World Trade Center bombing. That case has not yet gone to trial. Kunstler confirmed newspaper reports of the Salem transcripts. In one, Salem complains to an FBI agent, "Since the bomb went off, I feel terrible. I feel bad. I feel here is people who don't listen." The agent replies, "Hey, I mean, it wasn't like you didn't try and I didn't try. You can't force people to do the right thing."
There is material in here to show gross governmental misconduct.
Today, attorneys for the defendants in the ongoing World Trade Center bombing case formally asked for the transcripts of Salem's tapes.
Quite frankly, beyond me, why now, the 4th week into the trial, we still don't have these materials.
Prosecutors have refused to comment publicly.
As reported by CBS News, the New York Times, and other respected news organizations at the time, Emad Salem was an ex-Egyptian army officer turned FBI informant and was essential in helping convict others in the bombing. However, it was Salem's contention that he had agreed to supply fake explosives to the bombers, and he was overruled by his FBI handlers. Salem, perhaps experienced in the machinations of black ops, had the sense to tape some of his telephone conversations with his FBI handlers, including FBI Special Agent John Antichev. This is a recording of one of Salem's conversations with Antichev.
Everything was submitted with a receipt, and now it's questionable. It's not questionable. It's like a little out of ordinary.
Okay.
You know.
All right. I don't think it was. If that's what you think, guys, fine. But I don't think that, because we was start already building the bomb, which is went off in the World Trade Center. It was built by supervision from the Bureau and the DA, and we was all informed about it, and we know that the bomb start to be built. By who? By your confidential informant. What a wonderful, great case.
Well.
And then he put his head in the sand and said, oh, no, that's not true.
In the taped conversation, Salem makes it clear that the FBI informant had in fact gone ahead and built the bomb. Hundreds of hours of taped conversations exist between Salem and his FBI handlers, but they were never used in the trials of the bombing conspirators.
Unlike the Northwoods plan, the FBI actually carried out the attack on the World Trade Center in 1993. They actually hired a retired 43-year-old former Egyptian army officer, Emad Salem, and paid him $1 million and gave him real explosives, a detonator, and told him to build a bomb and to give it to the foolish people that he was controlling to allow them to attack the World Trade Center complex. There was only one problem with their plan. Mr. Salem was not as ruthless and sociopathic as the FBI and their globalist controllers. He began to get very concerned right before and, of course, after the attack, saying, why are you giving me real explosives if this is just a sting operation? When they told him to go ahead and let the attack go forward, he secretly recorded the head of the FBI in New York ordering him to let the bombing take place. It's very important to understand that all the evidence you just saw is documented, 110%. It is part of the public record. The FBI admits it, but the media wrote a few stories about it. There were a couple of nightly newscasts. It was never heard of again.
President Bush signed legislation today creating an independent commission to investigate the September 11th attack on America. The president named a supporter, Dr. Henry Kissinger, Secretary of State in the Nixon and Ford administrations, to head the panel.
He has a penchant for secrecy, which is not what's needed here. There are questions about his role in Vietnam, his role in the coup in Chile.
Several family members approached Kissinger and requested a meeting at his office in New York. Prior to the meeting, Kristen Breitweiser conducted a thorough investigation of Kissinger's potential conflicts of interest.
Probably much to the chagrin of some of the people in the room, Lori asked some very pointed questions. Would you have any Saudi American clients that you would like to tell us about? And he was very uncomfortable, kind of twisting and turning on the couch. And then she asked whether he had any clients by the name of Bin Laden. And he just about fell off his couch.
Former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger stepped down from the position Friday.
We thought the meeting went well.
The World Trade Center, both of which collapsed shortly after. Now, this much we know for sure, but for some, the cause of the collapse is not as clear. Michael T. Donnelly is part of Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth and says that there's no way that a plane could have destroyed two of the world's largest towers. He joins me now from our studio in New York. Hi, Michael. So you say that you have new evidence that the World Trade Center collapse was not, in fact, caused by an airplane crash. What kind of evidence are we talking about here?
Well, we've all seen the planes, video footage of the planes hitting the towers. But the actual collapse mechanism is not quite that clear. New evidence that has come from an international team of investigators includes nanothermite material, which is basically made only by military industry, has been found in dust samples taken throughout the World Trade Center site. And let's not forget, there were 3 buildings that collapsed today on September 11, 2001, one of which was not even hit by a plane. There's also evidence that was not included in the official reports of the United States government. The FEMA report, the NIST report, they don't even bring into evidence molten steel that was found in the basements of all 3 towers. And there's no explanation for molten steel. Carbon-based fires did not burn that hot to actually create molten steel that was found in all 3 towers. So, you know, some of the evidence is new and some of the evidence has just been ignored by the official United States reports.
You said that the government is ignoring some facts. So if there will be no further inquiry into this, what do you think could be the reasons behind this? Is the government trying to hide something, like you said? And if so, what and why? You know, it's an interesting question. If we look to the government's own reports, FEMA Report 403 did an investigation. They had scientists and engineers on the ground collecting samples after the collapses, and basically they found evidence of melted iron in their samples, and they concluded in their report, Appendix C, that further investigation is needed, that the evidence that they have could possibly be a cause of the collapses of the buildings, yet no further investigation has taken place. It seems to me that it's the scientists are being held back by politics.